everyone in this room to think back a year back in their school lives when they took a class that was extremely challenging and that they thought that they could never pass. And as you think about this class, I'd like you to look back now and say that it wasn't impossible, it was just our thinking, our approach to it was affected the way we interacted with the situation. And so this situation relates to what a quotation by Michael de Montaigne said, that nothing is so firmly believed as that which we least know. And for me, this means that when we know something that's little, it spikes our curiosity, which leads us to find ways to find answers to these solutions. And once we do, it helps us learn more and adapt to our society. And today I will be discussing with you 3 examples to which support this quotation. First is Charles Darwin's theory of evolution. Second is the evolution of penicillin. And thirdly, I will talk to you about how the progress for civil rights and equality for all here in America. So first, I will talk to you about Charles Darwin's theory of evolution. A long time ago, people believed that people survived because they were chosen by God, because they were the chosen ones, because they had this God-given right to survive. And that if people died, it's because you were just some person that wasn't modified the way you're supposed to, and that, we were better. People put themselves in superiority because they survived and other people didn't, which led to discrimination amongst different types of people. But Charles Darwin's theory once says that people survive because of the survival of the fittest, meaning that in society, people survive based on the way they adapt to society, based on how they adapt to situations and how their bodies are designed so that the changing environment does not affect them negatively. And so a lot of people started transitioning and started learning about this theory and believing that it wasn't because there was a God or they were not the way they're supposed to, they were just bad people, but rather if they do adapt to the society, if they do survive, if they do fight for everything that they do, they will survive. It's not a matter of they have no control over their destiny, but rather if you are designed to cope with certain situations, you will survive. And so this relates to the idea that nothing is so firmly believed as that which we least know. People before knew little about survival, but with Charles Darwin's theory of evolution and survival of species, people now have a different viewpoint about survival. And now I will talk to you about penicillin and the idea of antibiotics. Before the evolution of antibiotics and microbiology, there was this, people died because of when food got spoiled or when people have certain bacterial infections and they did not survive. But because of people's curiosity about survival, they started finding ways as to which to cure these types of strains. And so in basic human vocabulary, penicillin and other antibiotics were developed so that people survived because there was a way to target those diseases, not because they were just, once they get the disease, they're gonna die, but rather people have survived throughout the years because of these antibiotics that help them cure infections. And so, again, this ties it into the belief that nothing is firmly believed that which we least know. We knew little about curing these things, but now, because of that little knowledge, people were prone to finding ways to cure that. And so now that I've talked to you about penicillin and Charles Darwin, I will finally conclude with Americans' belief that there is hope for progress and change. Since 1776, since the Founding Fathers wrote the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, there has been progress for America. For about over almost 300 years now, over 200 years, we have seen change. We have seen transitions from women being able to vote, being able to own property, African Americans being freed from slavery, And finally, today we see that homosexuals are being tried to be represented as equally as every other citizens in society. And so, because before people believed a certain belief, it meant that a lot of other people had very little knowledge about women, African Americans, about different people. But because of those little beliefs, but great hope, there was change for all these people so that everyone as a citizen of the United States has the same equal rights and opportunities as their peers of different colors, of different sex, of different orientation, of different, beliefs. And so I believe that, again, this idea ties into what Michael de Montaigne once said, that nothing is so firmly believed as that which we least know. And before we knew little about African Americans, about women's and their power to become strong women, and to represent today one of the Chief Justices, 2 women, including Sotomayor as the Chief Justices, we see that there is progress, that women do have the same capabilities as men, and that homosexual people should have the same rights as their heterosexual friends to live their life that they're supposed to. And so, again, today I discussed with you Charles Darwin's theory of evolution, the evolution of antibiotics such as penicillin, and the progress for hope and change, which all tie into a quotation by Michael de Montaigne when he said that nothing is so firmly believed as that which we least know. Because today, all of us, when we have children, we start off as people who know very little and try to have this great understanding of the society we live in. But because of this little knowledge that we have and this curiosity, it leads us to discover ways of finding answers to these questions. And once we do, we hold on to it and we stick to it as our prerogatives, as a belief that there is hope, there is progress, that there is answers for every unanswered question we have in our world. Thank you.